What if moving to Shadow Hills meant having over an acre of land, a fully remodeled modern retreat, and all the charm of equestrian living just minutes from Burbank and Glendale? Welcome to this stunning Shadow Hills home for sale, where privacy, space, and modern upgrades come together. In today's Shadow Hills home tour, I'll take you inside this 4 bedroom, 2.5 bathroom, move in ready property set on a sprawling 1.1 plus acre lot. From the chef's kitchen, with quartz counters and custom cabinetry to the vaulted ceilings, marble fireplace, and spa-inspired primary suite, this home checks all the boxes. And outside, you'll find endless possibilities. Room for horses, gardens, and even a pool or sports court, all in the heart of Shadow Hills equestrian community. Whether you're dreaming of more space, a modern home, or simply the perfect balance of country living with city convenience, this home is ready for you. Let's go check it out. So today's home tour takes us to Shadow Hills, California. More information about Shadow Hills in just a second. The house right behind me, that's 4 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms, 1,936 square feet of living space on an over 49,000 square foot lot. So it's over an acre. And I'm going to get into it in this video. There's some caveats to that, but I'm going to go over some ideas what you can do to maximize this lot. The house was built in 1986. All right, so Shadow Hills, California, where is it located? We're in the northeast portion of the San Fernando Valley. So it's bordered by Sunland, Tujunga to the west, over to Pacoima, right? And you're just north of Burbank, California. Now, this is very equestrian heavy, I would say would be the understatement of the century. And, it's probably one of the last bastions here especially in this part of LA County that offers equestrian zoning. So if that's something you're looking at, that's something that you may want to look into. Now, you could have horses here, right? We'll talk about that also. But, just this whole neighborhood, it's all about equestrian living and so much history in this neighborhood as well. All right, let's start the home tour. So let's start right here in front of the house. And you're going to see this equestrian trail and path go right in front of the home. And essentially, look, you can see it's going to go up and around right here around this house as we are taking a look at it. So this goes right above the home. Now, again, this house, 4 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms, a 49,404 square foot lot. So over an acre. And we're going to get into the details on that throughout this video. Now, look, they put in a newer driveway right here, right? It's always great to have the concrete. You have your 2-car garage. And, look, they kind of have this kind of modern farmhouse exterior facing on it, and then they painted the brick white to kind of give it a modern look. And everything inside is going to be modern as well. And let's step inside. So immediately in your entry right here, if you go over to your right, instead of moving forward, you are going to have one of your 4 bedrooms right here. So you have your mirrored closet. You can see your dual pane windows, which is what you're going to have throughout. They have the luxury vinyl plank flooring throughout the entire home as well. Now, your first bathroom is going to be right here. Hopefully the automatic light comes on, and it did. Always grateful for that. You have the dark color on your cabinetry, which is important, which allows you to kind of go with the plain white on your quartz counter on your vanity. And then they have a grayish, right, tile on the flooring. And then inside the shower enclosure itself, let's step inside here. You're going to see the hexagonal tile and the designer tile going from floor to ceiling. Now, you do have a hand sprayer here to go along with your shower head. And this bathroom is going to serve, right, this bedroom right off the entryway. So that's really a nice touch. Now we're going to go over here first to our right. So, this is your living room right in front of you. But before we go to that, This is the half bathroom. So when you have friends and family over entertaining, right? Very similar style on the vanity, but this one's going to have a lighter brown. So you have that herringbone design where it comes together on your vanity. And then again, the same grayish colored tile flooring that we saw in the first bathroom. So as we exit that half bathroom, now you're going to see the full spectacle of this living room. Tons and tons of LED lighting on top. The fact that they actually have a large piano in here, not many homes have the space or the capacity to be able to have it staged with an actual piano itself. So something to keep in mind, and that kind of gives you an idea of how big it really is. Now, the fireplace, this is all going to be quartz, and you're going to see the same quartz countertop in the kitchen itself. So they use it on the mantle and the entire fireplace surround. This is a gas fireplace. It does have a gas starter right there down on your right hand corner. You have French doors leading to the exterior of the home. All right, so that's your living room area. And then you come on in over here, right? And you could enter straight right there from the entryway. This is your kitchen. All right, so plenty of room, right, for a double wide refrigerator. And then again, look at this. So remember I was telling you that they have the luxury vinyl plank flooring throughout most of the house, right? And then you have this quartz countertop, which we just saw in the living room. So you got these goldish brown veins. And so it makes sense that as a result of that, that's why you would have your gold color faucets and handles on your cabinetry, and the cabinetry, custom cabinetry, is all completely white. So you don't need anything crazy as far as colors go on the cabinetry because of the dark veins, the gray and gold and brown veins that you have on the quartz countertop itself. And you need something to contrast the extremely light colored flooring, and that's how they were able to do that. So they're able to take this quartz countertop and make it go all the way up. Basically becomes this backsplash in this kitchen. All right, so you do have your stainless steel freestanding range right here, as well as the hood right above it. And included is going to be this extremely large refrigerator, as well as your stainless steel dishwasher. Now, as we come around here, right, you're going to have access to go to the backyard from another vantage point right here, more French doors. I want to show you this. So this is your dining area. So you can easily put a larger table in there. If you needed a table that needed to have an insert to make it bigger, you can definitely do that. Now over here, you have enough space for 4 chairs or bar stools at your breakfast counter, which is really important because not everybody eats all their meals at their formal dining table. And then I'm going to step back over here because I want you to see how they're able to keep a lot of character in this house, right? You kind of have this old school vibe because they're able to have that large beam going across, right? Look how they're able to expose it, and then look how they're able to take advantage of it here. So this was most likely closed originally, and then they were able to open it up by keeping the beam right here. And then instead of just painting it white, I really like what they're able to do is because this dark brown actually goes perfectly and contrasts perfectly with the color scheme that they have in the kitchen itself. So let me know what you think of that. All right, so over here, this is a pretty good sized laundry room, to be honest. You don't have to go stackable. You have plenty of room to go side by side. You have the cabinetry on top and even a sub panel right there over to your left. All right, so we will go outside in a bit. And before we go to the bedrooms, let me tell you this. Scott Himmelstein with the Scott Himmelstein Group, your trusted Los Angeles real estate agent. And so after doing this for over 20 years, and we've collected over 250 5-star reviews, just on Google and Zillow alone, right? So we've been able to help so many people like yourself and so many people reaching out to us here on our channel over the course of the last couple years, right? We've been able to help them being able to find a home or sell a home right here in the greater Los Angeles area. So when it comes to buying a home, like, you really need to have somebody who has the personnel and the team to be able to back it up. And what do I mean by that? It doesn't mean that they're handing you off to another agent, but you know what, especially if you're buying a home here in Southern California, you need to have an agent who really is utilizing the best inspectors, right? So for a lot of homes up here that are up on septic, you need to have one of the best septic inspectors, right? And you need an agent that knows all the information of the questions to ask, right? If there's a septic system on the home, right? So besides the general inspection, right, you need to have an agent that's able to maybe bring out an HVAC, an electrician, or a plumber within 24 hours, right, to be able to kind of really figure out what's truly happening with the house. So it's not just everything on the real estate side, right? When you're looking for an agent, you need to have an agent that has the relationships, right, to kind of help navigate and get your offer accepted and work through the negotiating process, number one. But two, that has all the people that basically that kind of help service them, their referral partners, that able to kind of go to bat for you and make sure you're protected when you're buying a home. All right, let's keep this home tour going. All right, so we're gonna make our way through the kitchen right here. And then literally across from the kitchen is your second bedroom. So we saw the first bedroom, which was over to your left, right down that hallway off the entry. And then now this is the second bedroom, faces the front of the house, also with your mirrored closet, and does have the 4 recessed lights on the ceiling itself. So you have this nice hallway over here. Now, if it was me, right, I might actually take this out. This does look very attractive, right, from a staging perspective and optically. I would probably take this out and I would probably build in some custom cabinetry and basically be able to use it as your linen closet. That's what I would do personally. Let me know what you would do. Now, this bedroom is quite large. And again, I love that you have the beam ceiling on top. And take a look at this nook over here, right? So maybe you need like a small home office, right? Whoever's using this bedroom, or a homework area. This is a really nice space. And of course, you have, once again, you have the mirrored closet. So look, like this one was built in 1986. So, and it's also only 1,937 square feet. So your closet space isn't going to be so hefty. Now we enter into the primary bedroom, right? And again, I really do enjoy looking at this beamed ceiling right here. And this one goes all the way across. So I like what they're able to do right there. Now, this one actually does have a walk-in closet, which we're going to enter. And then I like how they were able to kind of dig out into the wall to create some shelving. Obviously, you have plenty of room here to hang clothes, but I like how they were able to kind of give you some additional space, right, for maybe from pants, or maybe if you want to just collect your shoes right here in this space, right? And again, they were able to just dig that out of the wall. Now let's come on over to the other side right here. It's dark in front of us, but let's hope the lights automatically turn on, and they do. You are going to have your dual sink vanity right here, again with the darker coloring on the cabinetry. And again, that same herringbone style on the facing of the cabinetry, the same tile that we witnessed in the other bathrooms. And then again, right, you have this gray tile, designer tile, in the shower enclosure itself. So you have the shower head and the hand sprayer. Both are black, as well as the drain stopper and the faucet. And the reason for that is, look, you got all this gray in here, and even a hint as the automatic light turns off. So, and all I have to do is walk back 2 feet, and now we're back in business. You have the modern light fixture on top, and nothing too fancy. I have the modern mirror, and look, while everything else is black, right, in this bathroom right here, look, you take a look at the handles and whatnot. I like how they're able to basically have a mirror that has that gold surround, as well as, look, the light fixture on top. So I think they're able to kind of make the gold and black work because of the tile flooring that you have inside this bathroom. All right, let me know what you guys think. So that is your primary bedroom and bathroom. So let's make our way over to the backyard, and we're gonna meander through the kitchen once again to get out here. As we enter outside to the 49,404 square foot lot, so over an acre, right? And look, like, you know, they basically didn't do anything fancy, but if you're familiar with the cost of how much it does cost to utilize crushed rock, well, you're gonna know that this isn't very cheap at all. Now, here's the thing, that while the fact that you do have over an acre, right, on this lot, not all of it is particularly usable, right? So you do have, you know, the equestrian trail that goes to it, but basically you as the homeowner are responsible for all this acreage that goes up to the top of the hill. See, you might be able to see it here in the video, but kind of use that RV from a neighbor up above as kind of basically more or less your reference point. Now look, like, you could build this out. It wouldn't be very cheap to do. You could do that. On the flip side, right, a lot of people who live here, for them, it's all about the equestrian living lifestyle, right? It's all about the horses. And so, you know, look, I will tell you from a lot of the equestrian properties that I've sold over the year, not everybody, you know, is fit and made to be able to take care of horses on the property. And a lot of people end up boarding their horses on different other properties just because the cost and the maintenance to be able to house horses on your property. That's a whole different other conversation altogether for another video, probably. But just wanted to show, like, you know, this property wraps all the way around. And then this equestrian trail that we showed you at the very beginning, you can get a better idea how it kind of just wraps around there all the way at the top, and it kind of just continues to go around the property. So again, you know, you do have over an acre of property here. Not all of it is currently usable. And as a result of that, right, I think some people, this may not work for, because if you're looking to have a house where, you know, basically you're going to be able to put all your horses right on the property, you're going to have the stables and all the equipment that comes along with it. You know, first you're going to have to be able to grade all this. And, you know, that's obviously an expensive proposition depending on how much you decide to grade. Now, on the other hand, you do have a lot of privacy here. It feels very peaceful and serene in this backyard. But again, you know, if you're looking for, you know, to basically have the horses on your property, one of the neighbors has stables. So, you know what, maybe you can just put your horses right there with the neighbors. But it's a beautiful house, you know, that being said. And look, like, you know what, if you're out here, and it's so peaceful out in this neighborhood too, because, you know, essentially it's rural living, but you're essentially in the city and you have access to everything. You're so close to Burbank, Glendale, the San Fernando Valley. So, you know, but if you want something tranquil, you know, you can just sit outside and relax and, you know, kind of feel closer to nature, but at the same time have all those amenities, this might be a good fit for you also. So there's no right or wrong answer. It's just whatever works for you. All right, Scott Himmelstein again with the Scott Himmelstein Group. So what did you think of this home? Is Shadow Hills a neighborhood that you might be interested in moving to? Let me know in the comments below. So if you're looking to sell a home, one of the things I really always talk about with our sellers is making sure the home is staged. That's something that we pay for complimentary for all of our sellers, because I understand the benefit. Like, just walking through this house, imagine if this house was empty. Now, obviously this house is staged, but making sure it is staged is really important, because it really makes sure your home stands out from everybody else's, especially online, when the National Association of Realtors says 98% of buyers are looking online. And so you have to have that curb appeal that shows up online, and you're able to do that by having a house that's staged to help buyers envision the house, right? Otherwise, it kind of has that sterile feel to it, right, too. And then I always talk about our Concierge Plus program, where you can make repairs or upgrades to the house at no cost upfront to you. Basically, it all gets paid at the end when you close escrow. There's not a single penny up front, no interest, no upcharges. It's whatever you negotiate with our contractor. And that's really been a lifesaver for so many of our clients who are trying to be able to get every nickel and dime out of their house, right? Because a lot of them are on fixed incomes. So as a result of that, it's really been able to make a difference for our sellers. So any questions about that, feel free to reach out about either one. Hope you enjoyed this home tour, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.